All right, what's up, everyone? Man, it's been a minute since I've done like the entire podcast thing or just any type of live, whatever the case may be. Man, I'm on my way back from work. I work at the gym, so I was just there working my classes at Vasa down in Racine. But man, let's get into it. Everybody keeps asking me about the Fantastic Four. Dev, what did you think of the Fantastic Four? Dev, did you see the movie yet? Dev, Fantastic Four this, Fantastic Four that. And you can see I'm a diehard Marvel fan. But the movie, it was a good movie. I obviously had some takeaways, some critiques. I I ended up giving it a 6.5 out of 10. And people say, well, why'd you give it a 6.5 out of 10 instead of 10 out of 10? Because people think that just because I'm like the biggest Marvel fan, that no matter what Marvel Studios puts out in front of us, that I'm just gonna eat it up and think, oh, this is great, this is great. Like, yeah, I'm still gonna watch it and I'm still gonna light up like a kid because I'm seeing Marvel content. But just because I go out and see it doesn't mean that I think that it's a great film. But getting back into it, why I didn't think that Fantastic Four was a great film is for me, and obviously if you're watching this, there's spoilers, spoiler warning, spoiler alert. Do not continue watching this after this if you have not seen the film yet. But for me, it was a 6.5 out of 10 for the simple fact that the movie seemed very rushed. Like, there was no time to actually set the film up. There was no hoorah. There was no the heroes losing and coming back to get their vengeance. So obviously, the antagonists of the movies were the Silver Surfer, which is now led by a female, and then we have Galactus, which I thought it was going to be Liam Neeson. Everyone thought it was going to be Liam Neeson playing the role of Galactus, but Galactus and Silver Surfer, they were the two villains. Throughout the movie, we didn't get to see them get their powers other than the 30-second flashback that they showed at the beginning of the movie. But at the beginning of the movie, they're already showing them fighting crime, having their powers, not using their powers. We don't get the origin story of them going into space, how they got their powers or anything like that. So the movie picks up with them already being the Fantastic Four and having their powers, which we know as Marvel fans, we get to see them go outer space with Victor Von Doom, who's with them, and that's how they all end up getting their powers or enhancements. And Victor Von Doom was part of the storyline of being with the Fantastic Four out in space, getting the powers with them. So obviously Victor Von Doom was not in this movie, or was he? Which is now led by Tony Stark reprising his role, Robert Downey Jr. reprising a Marvel role, coming on as Doctor Doom. So yeah, throughout the movie, we don't even see them fight someone and lose and come together and face adversity and go back for round two and end up winning. And obviously, if a lot of you know who Galactus is the Herald of Worlds. He devours worlds. This man is bigger than a planet himself. He devours the planets. We saw them fight him one time. One time. And of course, they were able to beat him with that one fight. And really, if you watch the fight, it was all of Sue Storm's doing. It was all because of her using her powers to push him into the bridge, the teleportation bridge. Sue Storm by herself pushes the Herald of Worlds, who devours planets, by herself basically, and they beat him. And like I said, there was no 2 times them fighting him and them winning or them losing and all that. No, just one fight, and then they ended up winning that one fight. And of course, we see Silver Surfer in action throughout the movie, and we see how powerful the Silver Surfer is, like being able to be sucked through polar vortexes and black holes while still surviving, just being that strong. We got maybe 10 minutes of screen time for Silver Surfer. So it wasn't good for me in that aspect. Like, we didn't see them build themselves up to becoming who are they meant to be, face the adversity, go through their dealings, because obviously Sue Storm and Mr. Fantastic, they're married, and obviously Johnny Storm is the brother. We just don't see the dynamic between the whole group. Like, the movie seemed really rushed and poorly planned. Just if you ask me, as someone who critiques every piece of film that you see on the screen, you know. So yeah, that was my biggest takeaway. And the Thing, he looked really really tiny. Like I'm bigger than the Thing in this movie. Like, and I'm a little guy. Like it just wasn't very comic accurate on his size, especially for the strength that he's supposed to have. Like just the brute strength. They say that upcoming in the Marvel films, there's gonna be a scene with him fighting the Hulk, and he destroys the Hulk. And if you guys saw the film, you saw how small he was. But I mean, we got to remember, we have the movie Hulk. We don't even have the comic accurate Hulk. Like, they gave Red Hulk comic accurate powers before even giving Hulk comic accurate powers. And how many films have we seen Hulk? What the heck? That boy got 17. Hey, okay, chat. I see y'all. Chat live for me right now. My bad. I'm driving, so I didn't even get to see that people were watching it. But I'm like seeing we tuned in right now. Okay. Y'all rocking with the boy, chat. What up, chat? How y'all feeling? I'm just breaking down this movie right now, but yeah. So, like I said, the Thing was very tiny, way smaller than the Hulk, and it's like, dog, this is what y'all throwing on the screen? Like, I can take my $8 and watch this on bootleg. If this is how y'all was gonna do me, I could have literally taken my $8 and watched it on bootleg. For real. My bad, chat. I'm on the road driving as well too. But yeah, it was, like I said, it was a good movie. Me and the girls, we loved it. But it was a 6 out of 10. You know, it just could have been better. And people, here's the biggest misconception that people have been hearing when they come to me. They say, Dev, people are telling me that I have to be privy to the shows. Which shows do I have to be privy to? Because someone told me that Loki, Ironheart, and Secret Invasion leads up to this. All lies, all blasphemy. You do not have to be you could have not watched any of the Marvel series on Disney Plus, and you could have still walked into this movie and still was like, oh, okay, this is what it was. Because like Loki, I told my buddy that Loki really was to let us know what the next saga was going to look like, and which it involved the meddling of time travel, time-space continuum, what happens when you break the timelines, the alternate realities, things of that nature. That's what Loki was for. Loki helped you get a clearer picture of the timelines and what can happen when timelines are altered, which, as you saw in Endgame, the Avengers were like really the first ones on the big screen to go back in time and meddle with time. So obviously Loki helps you understand what can happen with that. Ironheart had nothing to do with Fantastic Four. Ironheart was really giving her own show. And if you ask me, Ironheart, it was more so because it was originally supposed to be a movie, but then obviously they know that the movies aren't doing as well as they used to do, because obviously you got characters dying off, people leaving the roles and all that, and them not taking the time to really introduce us to these characters. And when we're not introduced into these characters, that's when the storyline falls flat on its face, or you rush characters out. Like, for instance, in spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Thunderbolts, they introduce us into the Sentry finally, which is has the power of 10 million suns, whatever the case may be. So they introduce him to him in the Thunderbolts, and we didn't even get the real Sentry with the comic accurate powers that we were supposed to have from this Marvel big bad. Like, he's supposed to be Marvel's version of Superman, and they did not do his character justice in Thunderbolts. And speaking of Thunderbolts showed us, as their post-credit scenes, they showed that the Fantastic Four in their ship heading to Earth 616, our timeline, at a very fast pace, as if they're running to something, running from something. And obviously now that we know, after seeing the movie that we just saw, Fantastic Four, we know what that post-credit scene was about. Because none of the post-credit scenes for Fantastic Four showed us what that post-credit scene would be, but now we know that that's going to be the events leading into Avengers Doctor Doom. So, spoiler alert, I'll tell you guys what it was for the post-credit scene of Thunderbolts. Was the Fantastic Four heading to Earth at a very fast pace. And we didn't know why, and we thought we would know why in this, but we didn't get a post-credit scene for it leading into that. But we got the post-credit scene, which shows us what's that's going to be. And the post-credit scene, ladies and gentlemen, it was our first look at Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. We really didn't get to see him, like his face, but we know it was Doctor Doom because he had the mask and he had his hood on and everything like that. And he was talking to Reed Richards and Sue Richards' son, Franklin Richards, who that's the whole premise of the movie for Fantastic Four was Galactus saying, I won't ruin Earth, I won't eat Earth if you give me your son. Because you guys got the powers, your son got the powers too, these multi-dimensional outer space powers. Your son has the potential to absorb my craving for planets. So if you give me your son, that means I really want to eat any more planets either, because he would be able to fix me and solve my craving for devouring planets. So if you give me your son, I won't come to Earth and destroy Earth. And that was the premise of Fantastic Four and Galactus's first meet. I need your son, and I'll leave you guys alone. And obviously, what sane parent will give up their son to someone who eats planets? So obviously they said, no, you're gonna have to come fight us at Earth if you want our son. So that was the whole premise of that. But the post-credit scene was them showing Dr. Doom holding the baby. We don't know how he got into the Baxter Tower at all, which is where the Fantastic Four set up shop, the Baxter building. So yeah, so we saw Dr. Doom, Robert Downey Jr. holding their baby. So that's obviously what they were getting away from in the post-credit scene for Thunderbolts. They were either heading to Earth to gather the Avengers or gather help, because obviously a guy like Dr. Doom, the Fantastic Four can't beat him by themselves. They need help. So that's why they're heading to Earth. They're heading to Earth to gather up everyone that they can, or they either try to escape from Dr. Doom in space, and then that's how they ended up going into another reality, which is Earth 616. In which, what I think, my believing is, they're going to get Dr. Doom, who is Robert Downey Jr., they're going to get to Earth, and they're going to see that Iron Man was one big hero on Earth, and they're going to say, wait, why does he look exactly like me? And that's what Dr. Doom is going to say. Well, why does Iron Man look exactly like me? That's me from another reality. Wait, so in this reality, I was Iron Man, I was a hero, but in this reality, I'm Dr. Doom and I'm a villain. Marvel, I'll give you guys that. Kevin Feige, you and your brother, the Russo brothers, you guys did a really good job on setting that up for us to be able to go off that. Oh, so, because like I said, the premise of Loki was to teach us about time travel and what happens when you meddle with time and space. And with the Fantastic Four traveling through space now too, that's how they're going to open up the door to that of, oh, we're in another reality. And I keep telling people that Captain America, Chris Evans, and Iron Man, they're just down for the count. We open up the door to alternate realities. You get to see things like this, because the whole issue why Doctor Strange is in trouble right now of him using black magic and things of that nature, he's traveled to all of these other realities to see, because remember in Avengers Infinity War, when they were about to fight Thanos for the first time, he traveled to billions of alternate realities to see what reality it is that they won. So he knows that there are other realities where there's a different Iron Man, a different Captain America, there's Doctor Doom and Iron Man, there's Kang the Conqueror. People still I'm going on a tangent right now, but this is my show, I can do this. But people still fail to realize that Marvel is actually in talks with Jonathan Majors to bring him back to resume playing Kang the Conqueror. Because Kang, he's the big leader of the multiverse and the traveling through time and things of that nature as well too. So don't think that these characters are just done and we'll never see them from alternate realities and all that. Because thinking back to Spider-Man No Way Home, we saw Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man from alternate realities coming in on one big screen. So yeah, my tangent is done. I got some people saying what's good, man. Yo, what up, chat? We good. What are you talking about? I just got here. We're talking about Fantastic Four, brother. We're talking about my thoughts of Fantastic Four, how I liked it, what I did not like about it, things of that nature. Fantastic Four was a 6.5 out of 10 to me. They just missed a lot of shots that they took with this movie, because like I said, we didn't get to see them get their powers. We didn't really go through that character development with them on screen for us to feel a certain way about the movie and to be able to play on our emotions and our feelings. We didn't really get that in this movie, because like I said, the movie starts off with them already being the Fantastic Four, and you get like a 30-second flashback of the Fantastic Four got their powers, they went to space, got their powers this, and now they're here fighting bad guys. Like, that's what we got. We didn't really get anything. It was a good movie. I liked it. Like I said, the girls liked it, I liked it, but it's 6 out of 10 out of that, because they just missed some things. But like I said, I'm still going to be a Marvel fan till the day I die. I'm still going to watch the movies. I'm still going to do my reviews. I just took the time to go ahead and break this movie down. Yeah, Fantastic Four, it was good to me, but there were just so many things that they missed. And that was my thing. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if there's any Marvel movies that you guys want me to come back on and discuss. If there's any shows you want me to discuss, let me know. We're here at Line for Line Podcast.